It's December 30th, 2025 is about to end. Here are my 10 biggest lessons as an 8-figure entrepreneur. What's up, everybody? I'm Eric Horwitz. I scaled my service company from 1.3 million to 10.2 million in 19 months, and I help clients learn from what I've done, and I help them achieve massive results to grow from 7 to 8 figures. So, 2025 was yet again an end of a year that has become the best year of my life in every facet, personally and professionally. But today we're focused on the 10 biggest business lessons from 2025, starting with number 1, which is the simple one that sometimes we forget to do, which is check the work of your staff. When we have managers and then middle managers and the staff below, sometimes all we're doing is checking the numbers. But every now and then we found it's important to just go beyond the first level of management and go to the team below. It's so important to say, hey, you're interviewing those service providers. How are you interviewing them? Oh, hey, you're doing reference checks for the service providers. How are you doing it? Because we found that whenever we had something problematic at the top, like a bad hire for our instructors, we look 2 levels down and we see that the process was not followed. Now, the numbers were good, the KPIs were good, the weekly check-ins were good, but things were not getting followed. So we learned a lesson, which is every now and then, randomly, every 1-2 months, go to your people at the bottom kind of rung of your internal team and make sure they're doing something correctly. Study how they're doing something, shadow them, look at the report they write after an interview or after a client meeting, and make sure it's being done well, because you need to kind of get, when you get kind of big, like we're quite large right now, it's so helpful to look somewhat below the surface, because look, if we had done that, we would have seen, wow, the reference check we found out wasn't a real reference check. It was an email sent to a colleague. A reference check done correctly is when you check a supervisor's position of somebody who worked above the person you're about to hire. Because we didn't do that, we didn't get real feedback. Maybe we'd found out, hey, this person isn't very good to work with. They don't show up on time. And then all the bad stuff could have maybe been avoided. This comes to lesson number 2, segues perfectly, which is fire quickly. So we had this issue where we had a fairly high-level staff member who was not very kind to their team below, would threaten their team below, would be kind of rude, would make comments about the way they looked on Zoom. Hey, your hair is wet on Zoom. Meanwhile, her hair was kind of messy. And we realized that we had little gut moments. We're like, you know what? I don't know if that person isn't the best fit for the team. And we would just ignore it and move on. But it turns out we should have followed that instinct, because this person ended up quitting, and when they quit, they went down in flames. They emailed our team negative stuff. We had another team member who also was rudely emailed, and all this could have been avoided if we got rid of this person before that they left. We found out they were starting their own consulting company on the side. We found out they were trying to position themselves as this manager of operations that could do all this hard work. And we just learned this lesson that I keep learning over and over, which is when you have that gut feeling like someone needs to go, don't wait. Don't say, and I had this happen to me myself. I had a driver I had to let go because he was just a little off, and then once we let him go, we found out he was doing this and this and this incorrectly. Things that if I had known before, I would have immediately instituted immediate firing. However, I didn't know until afterwards. But I said, look, let me get a backup driver first. This is actually what most entrepreneurs say. Let me get a backup first. Let me get somebody ready. Let me do this. And we learn that lesson over and over. Just fire them. Don't wait until the end of the quarter. Don't wait until the end of 2 months. Just cut it. And what this does, it has this effect with your mindset where you actually open up the universe to bring in new people. You are forced to put out a job posting immediately. And usually within about 2, 3, 4 weeks, you have a better person hired and already in that place. This also happens in relationships too. So you remove something bad and you open up the opportunity for something better. Number 3, pivots are key for business, especially newer businesses. So this consulting company, the Win with Eric Consulting Company, went through 2 iterations. It used to be called Net Profit King, and it focused on helping dental clinics in America grow and expand their business with remote staff. Then it turned into Clinic Assist, which is based here in Dubai, where I talk to clinics in Dubai, dental clinics specifically, on how to grow their business with one-on-one consulting and operational support. And then finally, I just ditched it all and made it Win-Win with Eric Consulting, where I just help service businesses scale from 7 to 8 figures. This happened July 2025. But guess what? This first version of it, called Clinic Assist, Didn't work. I tried it for a quarter. I tried it for 2 quarters. I would go to clinics throughout Dubai, one-on-one, knock on doors, meet with owners, share what I do, buy them lunch, have meetings with them and their team, explaining how I can help them grow. And after a while, they just didn't respond. They didn't want to hire me as a consultant. They didn't want to bring in new staff, new mentoring. They didn't want to grow. And I learned a valuable lesson, which is, look, I tried it for a quarter. It didn't work. Try something new. And it took, in business, especially newer ones, you have to be willing to pivot, but not pivot too quickly. 1 or 2 months, it's a short time frame. I prefer a quarter, and that gives you enough data points. All right, I talked to 100 clinics or 20, 30 clinics or 50 clinics throughout Dubai. It didn't work. So it's time to just start something new, which leads me to this important point. 4, coaching helps make life easier. I have a coach named Caleb I'm working with, and we had a lot of conversations about my consulting company. It was my passion project. And we had an interesting realization, which was Lift Enrichment was successful and paid for all the bills and make sure everything was going well. But I spent so much time suffering with this consulting company to make very, very, very little money. So small amount, it literally was not worth it. So why was I doing it? Why was I really wanted to prove to myself I could start a second company. And we realized, you know what? Forget it. We made this company Clinic Assist. We sold a very specific service where we would help them get a remote salesperson. And we had complication after complication after complication. We said, look, it's not worth it. And with his help, with his outside eyes, we just changed it. I said, you know what? I want to help companies. It's my passion. It's what I'm good at. And I love it. I have a meeting tonight at 10 p.m. with a consulting client. I can't wait. It's going to be late for me, but I'll get so much energy and good vibes from helping this entrepreneur grow his business and delegate everything just like I've done. And I realized that life's too short. Let's just make this consulting company, which is the second project, more conducive to what I like. So I said, look, I'm not going to sweat and die over it. I'm just going to do stuff that I enjoy. I'm going to make content. I'm going to offer my services to all sorts of different types of businesses. It does not have to be a clinic. And suddenly, I got a client. The clinic client that I had under the old model, I pivoted and they agreed, and now they've been a client and will be a client for over a year and a half. A friend of mine reached out to me and said, I love your content, I love your blogs, I love your videos, like, I want to work with you. I made more video content. Another friend from 4 years ago came out of the brute. I said, hey, I've been watching what you're doing, I want to work with you. I'm like, oh my gosh, suddenly things are flowing my way because I stopped stressing and destroying myself, found a better way to run this company. But it was my coach who gave me the confidence and helped me move into that new direction. Tip number 5. Oh, might annoy some people with this one, but it's important. Double check the decisions made by your lawyers. When you get to 8 figures, you're going to need legal help. Things are going to happen. Lawsuits might come your way. You're going to have to learn how to deal with all this stuff. And this entire year, I've had moments where the lawyer said I should do this. Let's just do that. And I kind of delegated to my president, integrator. I was like, all right, it's okay. I don't need to focus on it. But then bad things happened. For example, we got a bill. I'm not going to say the amount, but it was a very significant 5-figure amount for 1 month of lawyer work. And I was shocked. I was like, how did this happen? How did we spend this amount of money on lawyers? And they're doing our good work. They are productive. And I really appreciate both the lawyers that work for me. Miriam, Jessica, you guys are awesome. Shout out. But I let my foot off the gas of something important that I shouldn't have delegated. And I looked into it and I said, hey, look, first decision was 2 lawyers was too much work for this situation. So I took 1 off immediately. That cut costs. Because you know why? I'd be on these calls with the lawyers and she would say something and then she would just kind of repeat it or affirm it. I was like, why are we paying $500 an hour, $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour when you just need 1? Also, they said, and I don't blame them. This is in their experience. We might need a financial expert on this. It'll be about $20,000 to $25,000. We hired this person, and the work that we got was honestly not helpful. And I said, look, next time, let my team do it. I have a whole team of staff. I can just pull admin managers and give you whatever data you need to move the lawsuit forward. And you know what? I could have saved myself $25,000 if I just done that, but I didn't. Lesson learned. Pay attention. Step number 6, the lesson was new expansions mean a new team. So Lift Enrichment, my service company that I scaled, is primarily focused in California, and our goal was to expand to new territories. And the newest territory was New York. We've been working so heavily in New York, and we got a lot of results. We sent a lot of people to New York. We sent expeditions there. We flew people out. And we really grew it to almost 7 figures in 1 year. It was very good. However, we took a lot of salespeople, a lot of cold callers, and directed them to New York, away from California. California was still growing, expanding, and doing decently, but we pivoted them all here. And after about 6 months, we got a lot of traction here. But we kind of saw California wasn't really growing like it should. And that was a mistake looking back on it. And the lesson was, if you have a new territory, hire new staff for the new territory, or take one staff. But you need to make sure, if we could go back this year, I would have everybody still dialed in on California, taken 1 or 2 key staff, and hired new staff, a new sales rep, a new person to focus and use the process that we've developed to grow this territory, because New York was so different from California. New York has different business laws, different funding, different style of working with them, and even though they're both education, they're both after school, and we would have progressed California a lot more. So now we have California dialed in, and New York is now going to have its own expansion. So if you expand to new territory, don't try to do this group, focus on here. Try to set up a new person here, a new ops person, a new salesperson, or if you take a person, put them here, make sure you replace that here so this thing continues to grow and this grows. Lesson number 7, which is content is king. So this year I released hundreds of shorts videos, dozens of long form videos. And it's only because I just created a system built around it. I used my team, we started filming, and we didn't let life get too complicated. We didn't overcomplicate the editing process. You'll see videos that are beautifully edited, and you'll see straight form videos like this that are not, and that's okay. In fact, I would rather just get it done, which is a core value of my company. I would like to just say, hey, 80% is good enough, and we'll make it better next time. We do things like add microphones, change the outfits, change the background, add lighting, add camera, add better camera work, add a better videographer, add better editing. We can do all that in time, but the key is just start simple and just make it. Because once I started making content, suddenly clients came out of the woodwork. As I said earlier, like people saw what I was doing on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, like, hey, Eric, I want to work with you. I like what you're saying. And that people really appreciate it. But like they always say with content, consistency is more important, honestly, than quality. Quality is important. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying make bad content, but it's better to make, easier to make content like long form videos without a lot of fancy editing. Shout out to William Brown, inspiration for all this. I'm meeting with him actually in a week. We're gonna meet in the cafe lobby. I hired him as a coach. And just do it. Just honestly, just do it. Don't overthink it and be consistent. And now we have Tuesdays as filming day. It's always filming day. Everyone in my life knows Tuesdays is filming day. I woke up this morning, my girlfriend's like, what are you gonna do today? I'm like, I'm gonna make content. She knows that, I know that. My executive assistant knows that. If friends wants to see me, friends wants to play paddle, I have a cigar meeting with another entrepreneur of mine, it happens afterwards. And I just carve out 10 to 2. I even told my trainer, I'm like, I'm not working out on Tuesdays because if I work out, sometimes I'm too tired physically to do this work. So just carve out time and do it weekly. Don't do it daily, but do it weekly. Say, hey, in this day every week, I'm gonna make content. No matter, and actually, like me, I enjoy it. It's fun. But that has really exploded my business and my personal brand, and I'm gonna do this forever. Lesson 8, 1 focus per quarter. Not 2 focuses, not 3. As the entrepreneur, just focus on one thing, and not one thing here, one thing here, one thing here. If you're like me, you're obsessed with health, wealth, and love or relationships, you can't grow all of them at the same time. Pick one for the quarter. For me, investing was a huge focus during one portion of this year, and I got very good results from it because I actually focused on it. Another period of time, there was a 1 month where I focused on losing 2 kg, which is 4 pounds in a month, and I just focused on that and I got good results. Every time I try to do 2 or 3 things, hey, I'm gonna lose weight, and I'm gonna, hire a new operations director and train them, and I'm going to do this. It never works successfully. I don't know if it's an Eric thing, but just it's easier for me to just do one thing at a time. but still maintain everything else. Lesson number 9, in-person retreats really help bond the team, but there's more to it than that. We did an in-person company retreat. You can see that video where we went to Cuba, Havana, Cuba for about 5 days, and we did a combination of fun stuff in person. We did things like a cigar tour. We did a culinary class, cooking class together. We had multiple dinners together. We did work. We did meetings. We did quarterly planning. We did presentations. But what I liked was it just helped really inspire everybody. A lot of the leadership team had never met in person, and this was the first time. And it took a lot of time and energy and flights and money to get people in that room. But I know that when we walked out, there was so much more inspiration. Remember, Lipton Richmond, I've dialed in where it only takes me about a couple, like maybe 4 hours every other week to really know what's going on because I check the numbers and the KPIs. So by making sure, by spending that time, even with me, I didn't want to go to Cuba. In fact, Cuba is very difficult because of the poverty, the cell phones don't work, your money doesn't work, your foreign bank cards don't work. It's a challenging place to be. Next year, it's going to be in Dubai, which is a first world paradise. But it just helped everybody grow and bond, and I will do this every year forever as one time in-person retreat with the key staff. Another thing we learned, this goes back to that firing people quickly, the one person who wasn't a good fit, I kind of felt it. I kind of felt like, the whole leadership team is bonding, gelling, and I don't mind hanging out with him and her, but this person I don't know, I don't have any conversation with, I don't have much in common with. I just felt off, and then there were consequences. So always follow your gut, and in-person does help reveal the true characteristics of people. Tip number 10, kind of in sync with that, which is to try new, fun, remote things with your remote team. So I have a very remote team. And this year, we did so much on Zoom, and actually some of it was a lot of fun. We did things like we just had a Christmas party where we had the costumes were insane. This person, one of my team members, she dressed up as a white snowman, and her dog was an elf, and it was just adorable, and her makeup, her presentation was incredible, and we applauded her on just her skills coming to this 1-hour Christmas party on Zoom. Then there was a presentation where every member shared 3 pictures from their year, and it was just a wonderful moment to kind of, everyone shared their life, and I learned about these people. A lot of them I don't even know because I'm not super involved in that company. I saw pictures of their life. Some people got out of toxic marriages, some people found new partners, some people had children, some people traveled the world, but we all shared moments, and I really felt like that Zoom meeting was such a wonderful way for everyone to showcase a couple pictures of their year and get to know each other better. We also do a monthly Catan night, which is a 2-hour competition where we play 2 or 3 rounds of Catan. I usually win, very good at Catan. I could make a video on how to get good at Catan, and I might one day because I love the game. It's a very fun board game. It's been around for decades, and it combines strategy, negotiation, and luck in a very fun way to win the game. And it was a hit, so we still do that every month, and it just helps us, and it's fun, and it's competitive. We also did things that didn't work. We did this team bonding activity where we hired this outside agency to do this team bonding, and it was just awful. It was 2 hours long. Everyone was bored. We played these kind of dumb drama games. It felt very off. Nobody liked it. I talked to my president. I'm like, why did we do this? It was so dumb. It was such a waste of time. But we learned that we tried it and it didn't work. We're also going to try new things next year. We're actually going to do a virtual escape room, which I love escape rooms. And just getting in this habit of trying new things, trying this in-person retreat, trying the remote things, just making interesting activities for your team on Zoom. It's kind of the HR's job to bond the team together, but it was a huge success, and I'm happy to do more. So those are my 10 big lessons from 2025. If you want help scaling your service company from 7 to 8 figures, I help my clients do that. It's a blast. Book a call at winwinwitheric.com. I'll see you in 2026.